Hey folks, Amanda here. Just a quick heads up that from time to time, the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast does include some adult language. So if you've got kids with you, you may just want to hold on to this episode to listen to a little later. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast. I'm Amanda Solman, and along with Mark Jewell, your host for this show and the creator of the Surviving to Thriving movement. Each week, we'll dive into the mindsets that keep us in survival mode and learn how to get on the path to a truly thriving life. If you're looking for a wake-up call and want some valuable tools to get there, you have come to the right place. After all, survival is dead. It's your time to thrive today. Now, let's head over to the show.
Well, hello. Welcome. Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast. This is your host, Mark Jewell, founder of the Surviving to Thriving movement. And I'm here with Amanda today to talk about evolving every single day. Amanda, welcome. And thanks for being on with me again this week.
Hey, glad to be here as always.
So we're talking about evolution today. Is that what you've got on your notes?
I do have evolution. What exactly about evolution are we talking about?
Well, I'm not talking about the fact that people had tails or whatever. I don't even know if that's a fact. To be honest with you, I have no idea. I wasn't around. What I'm talking about is what is required in the last step to really live a thriving life. What does it mean to thrive? And a lot of people get to a point in just about any and every behavior that they want to where they feel like they're thriving. Okay? A lot of people get there, but then we fail to stay there because what happens is we're all comfortable thriving for just so long. And we're all comfortable thriving for just so long, and we will get to a point, each and every one of us will get to a point where we fail to set a new goal, to see the new vision of what life could look like if it was even better, because who wants to change anything when it's already thriving? Why would you change? The reality is that people are constantly changing, constantly evolving. The world around you is constantly evolving. And you have this inborn need, this basic human need for variety. So even though you're thriving, even though maybe life is better than it ever was, your bank account could be better, your body could be better, your marriage, your relationships could be better, your job, your relationship with your boss, whatever, could be better than it ever has been. But eventually you will get bored with it. The better will become the norm. And what happens is, unfortunately, we will take it for granted. And so step 6 in the topic of this episode today is to evolve every single day. I have to be willing to let go of the good in order to go for the great. So that's the topic of the day today. Not evolution, but really your personal evolution as a human being throughout every day of the rest of your life. So, really, Amanda, evolution is the only way for you to continue to grow throughout life. And if you're not purposefully taking charge of which direction you are growing, somebody or something will take charge of that direction for you. So what say you?
No, that's a great setup for the discussion. So I'm curious, when if you were to picture someone who really was embracing that idea of evolving every day, what does that really look like?
Well, so let's take somebody that you've seen a lot in the media lately, with the Olympics going on as an example, Michael Phelps. I mean, the greatest Olympian of all time, right? The greatest Olympian of all time. So several Olympics ago now, was this the third in a row?
Oh, I want to say it's like his 4th or 5th. That's ridiculous. I don't remember.
It's a ridiculous amount of time. I think it's definitely the 3rd, maybe the 4th. I've lost track, right? He's got 23 or 24 or 25 gold medals, a ridiculous number. Nobody's ever done this before, right? He is literally the best that has ever been, period. End of story, right? So, Michael Phelps did not get through the first Olympics into the next Olympics, right, without finding new ways to grow, right? So I don't know how many people have seen the video. It's been going around the internet, but it talked about how much time and effort was going into the evolution of his body and the creation of the ability and the getting better. The guy, get this, the guy would literally not only swim for like 7 to 10 hours a day, eat 7,000 calories, right? Actually, I think he was eating like 10,000. It was burning 7,000 calories a day, and this is just maintenance mode for him during his training. But he would literally go and watch himself looking for flaws of his motions in the water, his movements, his style. He was looking for that minuscule piece that would make him better and give him the edge, right? And so, and that was this year, right? And so go back, 8, 10, 12 years ago, he's literally done this every single, day for the last 10 or 12 years in order to be the best. And so his practice has evolved, right? He's been willing to evolve. He's been willing to let go of some of the things that got him there to begin with in order to continue being the best. And this is where I see a lot of people, and I lump myself into this group. A lot of people have things going for them at some point in life. I was one of them. I graduated college. I had a degree. I'd had a great background in leadership training and had a lot of resources thrown at me. And I'd been a part of a lot of cool programs. I had kind of had the world by the tail, leaving the old University of Minnesota, go Gophers, coming out of that place. But, I was 23 when I graduated. 7 years later, I turned 30 and I was, depressed and unhappy. So, so what happens to those of us that don't choose to evolve? We end up experiencing a life that is not by design. It's not purposefully created, and it's not evolving in a positive direction. Is it evolving? Yes. Hell yes. It's evolving, but it is not evolving in the direction that you would choose for it. Why? Because you're not purposely taking a purposeful look at it and really being able to see what would I like my life to evolve into? What am I willing to let go of in order to have something better? Even if things are going good, what could be better? Obviously, if things are not going well, okay, what do I need to do to go from a 3 to a 10? What does that look like? What is the work required?
So that raises a good point. I know in the past you've made the statement, and I'll try and remember it correctly, but so often we ask ourselves, what do we need to do to get to that next level? And oftentimes the real question is, what do we need to become to get that